Well, a little makeshift video here. It's raining, as you can hear. We are on our way to the airport. Tim graciously offered to take me to the airport today. I got a ride over here with... no, there's no graciously?
He told me I had to take it.
No, I asked. We're on our way to the airport. I got two here today with Justin Irvine. It's a good thing there was
A lot of conversation on that ride.
It was fine. You know, everybody's been talking about in the stable, talking about, you know, the race the other night with Sweeney, and you know, I know I've been in that place. I said it in the video the other day. It's not a nice place to be in when, you know, maybe you get interfered with, but you know, your trainer's pressuring you to put an objection or inquiry in, and then when they call you to the phone, what do? You're going to go and lie for the person you don't work for? It's a tough place to be in. You remember when you were 22, like 75 years ago? Yeah. So it was a tough spot to be in, but then, you know, today I actually felt bad for him today. He was out of there. Now we got time on the rail, and the two horses to beat were Dave Blown and Justin Irvine. I got the rail, and at this point, you know, as the card played on, you saw that the rail, the front was actually not probably the best place to be today. But at that time, it wasn't obvious. I got the rail. I know. I don't mind following one of them, but usually what happens, Justin makes front. Here comes Dave Blown. Now Anthony's in the 3-hole and he has to be first over. That's generally, especially in those small fields, that's how things may have gone, and I just didn't envision that being a place I wanted to be in. So I pushed through. Now, if Justin just protects position coming off the car, lets me push through, drops to the 2-hole, I deal with Dave. We probably go 27-1, half and 56-3. Maybe he beats me anyway, maybe he doesn't. But I wasn't going to. If he'd have kept pushing, I guess I would have had to let him go. But I'm not giving the race away. I'm not going to bend over for the horse that I have to beat. You know, you can go ahead and beat me, but you're going to have to beat me fair and square. I'm not going to give it away. And, you know, around the last turn, he had me too. He moved out of the 2-hole. He was going past me and caught a knee and made a break. And actually, I felt very lucky when it happened. And then I felt bad for him after, because unfortunately, I felt that feeling before when something was going right, and then you just make this tiny error, and it turns out to be a massive mistake, and I did feel bad for him. So he won the open pace, I think, later on in the card. Nah, it's racing. What are you gonna do? So time is on my side. Race good. Dave Blown's horse was charging on the end of it, beat us fair and square, but upon further review, found out that time had a little bit of blood showing, just a little. Now, Tim and I had talked about this after the race, and there's two very different schools of thought. The horse shows very small amount of blood, whether 1 or less than 1 out of 5. Yeah. 1 out of 5. Very small amount of blood. He's been working hard, you know, he worked hard today, but my personal take, okay, first off, what else was found in the scope? He said mechanics were good, no mucus, which means it was just blood. So I find it hard to believe there was any sort of infection or anything going on in his lungs. So probably just a little leak, right? A little blood. It's May. You're telling me we're going to race him all throughout the summer without 1 turning into 2, 2 turning into 3? And how many races are going to be lost and money lost because of that? So although 1 isn't really a big deal, it probably could have been the difference between him winning today and losing, I guess, I suppose. Right? And I'm more worried about what it may cost us in the future. So it's easy enough to put him on Lasix, and that's that. So time is on my side. We'll race back in 7 days. It'll be easy enough to clear that up, especially now that we have a bit of a stopper in the sense of Lasix, right? It's one thing when you're not on Lasix, and maybe you're going to Kentucky and you can't be on Lasix. Now you're like, geez, what do I have to do? How do we have to change his training? How do we have to change his training to accommodate what we just saw? But we don't have to do that now. You know, we still have to work on cleaning him up and drying him up, but now we can use a little bit of Lasix. It'll probably help him a lot more. I can't help but think that would be a feather in our cap, him racing on Lasix.
Are you talking to me or not?
What's I'm talking to you
Talking to
for
me, I
them?
gotta take my eyes off the road.
Oh, well, no, you don't. You don't have to. You can talk. You can just.
Yeah, but I can feel you.
See, you're talking. You're looking at me.
Yeah, but I can feel you looking at me like I'm.
But that's okay. I'd rather not die. I mean, so my take on the Lasix thing was simple. Let's be proactive, rather than reactionary and say, okay, he bled. Let's work to dry him up. You know, use sodium iodide or whatever we can use to dry him up, and then race him next week at the Poconos. You're looking at a 6-hour ship to the Poconos, warming him up. Not known for the cold weather at the Poconos, so probably going to be a little warm next week. Let's be a little proactive. So that's where we're at with time. I thought the horse raced fantastic. Got a little break in the last turn with Justin's unfortunate break, but that's racing. And we ended up second in a Sire Stake race, and by far the fastest mile of the day too, by the way. I don't know if you've been keeping track. 50-1 was a full second, almost 2 faster than almost every other race, stake or otherwise, on the card. So very impressed with time is on my side today. Very happy with what he's turned into.
I got a question.
Yeah.
If Dexter Dunn would have got a flight, David drives in cold.
My car cold?
No. No,
Dexter Dunn, the other call? Yes, he would have been driving him, and he would have won.
So that, as a driver, when you look over and you see the Irvine kid or Irvine kid, does that make a difference to you if it's Dexter Dunn?
Yeah,
or
if Dexter Dunn's,
right?
but Dexter Dunn, but I don't get a chance to release him because Dexter kind of, and this is what you learn as a kid as you get older, right?
Right.
I kind of roped him into doing that, right? I left out enough for him to think he was going to get to the front. I'm looking right and I see knee tape under knee boots on his horse. I'm going to test him.
Right.
Right? I'm going to test him going into the first turn. And if we keep pushing and pushing, and that would have been Dexter Dunn, Stanley Dancer, or my long lost, my long since gone grandparents. If any of them had a left into me at that point, I would have done the same thing. I think Dexter would have been a little more, again, a little more educated in knowing that, just take your time, let your horse idle into the first turn, feel Anthony out also, and see if he really wants to be on the front end or he's just screwing around. Make sure that Dave Colon ducks, and then make a decision. If you keep going, which I doubt he does, because the way he popped out of the 2-hole, he wasn't a big plotter. He was going to sprint right by me. Like, he had me in the crosshairs pretty good when he came out of the 2-hole and made a break. I think Dexter just takes his time at the colt and probably wins. But that's not a dig on Justin Irvine. Dexter Dunn's one of the best drivers in the world, best drivers of our generation. That's the difference between knowing and not knowing. But that knowing comes from experience, right? So it's not his fault. I think there's lots of people that would have been put in the same position he was put in today, and there would have been lots of people that I consider to be good drivers that may have been in the same place and made the same mistake he did. So not a dig on him, just a learning experience, especially when it comes to driving for people like Nifty or Daly or anybody that's, any of those guys that have been around for a long time. So I thought time raced good. Now Arson, that's the difference too between having a race and not having a race before a stake race, right? And it was so important. Everything was perfect up until last week when we entered him on the weekend and he didn't get in. Right. Because it's one thing to train him fast, say, oh, he trained fast. It's not the same. And when he came off the car, he felt a little scrambly. Now it's raining all day, but it's raining slow, and there is a difference on the track. When it rains hard, it hammers that track down as hard as a rock. But it rained just light enough where the track was a little tacky on top. Now I went to go out of there with the flip-flops on. Usually Arson can scream off the car. Now I'm not really in a big hurry to get him out of there. I know that the Z course can leave a million on the inside. I was a little surprised with how quick Hunter's horse got off the car. So I wanted to feel him out too. I wanted to go out of there. I had no problem sitting behind the 2. I didn't really want to sit behind the 3, but I don't want to pay a speeding ticket to get there, either 26 apiece or whatever it would have cost me to get there. So I just dumped him in the 3-hole. The rate, we're going along a good clip. Nobody's really moving. I get a look at the TV. The favorite's already made a break, right? Dave Colon's made a break off the rail. So now I think I'm in a good spot. When I come first over, I feel I'm going to pace right past Jeremy, but I don't really want to tip my hand just yet. I come roaring up alongside him. I let him settle, and I can hear the horse on my back. No, Arson's starting to get a little tired. I can feel him start to wane away a little bit. We come out of the turn and he dug as hard as he could right through the wire. Again, never been first over probably in his life. Never. Hasn't had a start going into the year yet. We just went a mile 52 in the mud last quarter in 28 seconds. And the horse tried as hard as he could through the wire. Now, as I said to Tim pulling up, we still got those flip-flops on him up front. As we go, I know historically in the past, we haven't done well with flip-flops at the Poconos. I don't know whether it's just because the track is so soft or what it is, but flip-flops at the Poconos have never really worked well for us in the past. Right? Do you think of one?
No. If we get rain there next Saturday, like,
oh, it'd be terrible. Yeah, terrible. So I said to Tim, maybe have the vet take a very close look at his feet. If we could just take those flip-flops off and put a set of full swedges on him next week, I think he'd be great. Now, I guess the obvious question people are asking is, did Arson bleed? No, he didn't. Not a drop. Everything was perfect with Arson. He raced his ass off, was beat fair and square, finished fourth, beat, 2 lengths, and didn't bleed. So we're going into the Poconos with one colt that showed a little blood and just got beaten 50-1 in the pouring rain in the mud. Another colt who now keep in mind, time is on his side, had 6 starts this year. Arson had 0 going into today. So now Arson's going into another start. We're gonna remove the flip flops and race him in full swedges. And Mark is going to drive him. But as much as I hate to admit it, Mark is a pretty good driver. So I think time is on my side, and Arson are in great spots heading into next week's race. I am not going to Poconos, as I just said. Oliver's baseball season starts next year, and quite frankly, those 2 colts, Mark is a great fit for both of them, and I'm excited to watch the race also next week. So Mark will drive both of them. I believe we are going to take Pickpocket to New Jersey, but I haven't quite figured out what we're going to do in regards to New Jersey yet. That is a bit of a quandary as we head into next weekend. That's
how many races? Yeah.
3. Well, 2 eliminations and a final if I'm lucky. But, he's got a lot of work to do. There's another horse, first start the other day, 55 over a 5/8. I would like to stretch him out on a mile track. Now, the good news was he did bleed a little bit in the qualifier. We did put him on Lasix. Tim scoped him after, and this is where you talk. And no blood. No blood. No blood. Yeah. None. So it worked out well in that regard. So he's heading into New Jersey next week. We have Tactical Mounds tonight, so good luck to everybody. Much bigger field than she's been used to of late. She's got 4 other horses over there tonight, so we'll see how she does. I believe post time is 6:45. And now Country Dancing. I never get to talk about Country Dancing because I haven't gone with her in a while. You guys are going with her. The Poppy Rob filly, out of the Sisters Sintra. How's she been coming along?
Wonderful. Very strong. Tons of ability.
Yeah, she seems like a nice
Super
filly.
aggressive. Knows her job.
Do they have
It's not like she's done the track and she's not.
she just likes to work.
Beautiful when you turn her on, baby.
Yeah, she loves to work. She's a really nice filly in that regard. So I'm glad to hear that. I was touching on a few things with you this week. As far as Pennsylvania goes, I think we have now. The only downside is everybody I talk to in Pennsylvania's got a nice trot colt. So we got a couple we really like. We'll see how that plays out in Arrowhead, Hanover. And actually, we have 4 or 5 that I kind of like. A horse that I find interesting of late is in International Money Colt. We have Manhattan Money. He gets better and better and better. And I can't help but think he'll blossom once he gets to 5/8. Arrowhead Hanover is a horse that I like very much so. He's also getting really good. And then we have Father Patrick Colt. In Westland Warrior, who's a nice horse. The filly the mare that set the world record in Northfield a few years ago, Westland Quest. That's her brother that we have by Father Patrick, and he's been training fantastic. On the basic colt side, I don't think we're going to see Captain Incredible come to Pennsylvania. I don't think. We'll see. That's a colt we gave out money for that we really like. We'll see how that plays out. And he is mostly Kentucky, I believe. And then on the trot,
Why do you want to let him ride?
I just like it. You're always worried about Evan. I just want to see the horse race good. For us, and when it comes to us going to Kentucky, he's not getting into the site that would be going to Aaron. So Eric did a great job with arson last year, great job with pickpocket, memory and imagination. But he had to talk with Father Patrick. He was awesome the other day. Very, very good. His next start will be here, hopefully, and then Bunker Hill in Plainridge. But the trotting fillies we have two that I can think of off the top of my head. She sits at the bar, who is a bar hopping sister to Volume 8. She's been trained very, very good. Very good in Ohio. And the other one is two very nice fillies. I'm just trying to look at the other ones. Father Patrick, it'll come to me in a second. Anyway, very happy with the two horses today. I am off to the airport. I'm going to fly back to Ontario tonight. My brother James gets married tomorrow afternoon, so that will be a lot of fun. And then we're back at it Wednesday for us, right? We got Lovers Play in Wednesday. Tuesday, I have Bounds for All. That'll be his last start in Ohio as he heads to Indiana soon. And then we still have horses racing. I'll just tackle them out soon. So with that, I'm going to let you guys go. Chatty Tim here won't shut up. We'll I keep forgetting. Why don't you tell everybody about your football? He's like Ollie. He just popped up out of the background. How's football going? Pretty good, yeah. I'm trying to be a quarterback. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody wants to be Tom Brady. You look a little haircut that way. Yeah. Anyway, we're all off. I'm getting out of the airport, heading to Detroit. Short layover, just enough time for a couple of meals and a nice steak or something at the airport. Detroit airport's fantastic. I know you're one of those guys that hate layovers, right? You're a layover hater. Fly right to Detroit and have a quick meal, maybe a little drink, and then back home to Ontario. So I will talk to all of you very soon. You're not going to hear from me on Sunday. Your videos are done. They'll likely be posted tomorrow morning for you. But for now, Twaddle family and I are on our way to the airport, and I'm going to jump out, catch my flight. Tim stopped driving to 5 under the speed limit, and I will talk to you all very soon.
I'm speeding the whole way.
No, you're not.